we're constantly hear from mortgage people, whether it's bank representatives, the commission bank representatives, or mortgage workers probably more than anybody. We always hear about the stuff like, you need great planning and professionalism, and you need, service is key. You hear about this stuff with mortgages all the time. Now, there's definitely complexity to mortgages. Like, there is more complex. Like, I can't even tell you how much more complicated it is than when I started in the business, I don't know, a million years ago. But some of it is actually just not true. Like, the approval, there's really only two things in the mortgage business. Getting the approval, what is the rate? Because when it comes to bank mortgages, almost all, and bank mortgages are still 75% of all mortgages in Canada. I'm not saying that the other lenders are not important and good, like First Nat, MCAP, CMLS. Some of these companies you've never heard of, but they're good. They're very, very good. And they have a very good and meaningful position in the mortgage business in Canada. They've actually been the price leaders for years. But they all have about the same products. They're all about the same. I mean, I know there's a ton of mortgage workers say, well, you're wrong. I'm going to tell you why the penalty calculation over here is all important. Like, they just go on and prattle on and prattle on and yammer on and yammer on. It is all the same strategy. It's all the same strategies to maximize commissions. I mean, they're always trying to tell you something that's going to make you think that, oh, well, shit, that sounds really important what they're saying. They make it sound really important. And I guess I need to go with that lender because they said it's the only good lender. Yeah, that's just all a bunch of bullshit. The real truth is that the contract provisions all look about the same. They're all about the same. From the big banks, some are only 10% prepayment, but some are 20%, but you can think about that. But in the end, they're very similar. All the contracts are very, very similar, okay? So what is the truth and what is the fiction? The fiction is that it doesn't need a lot of planning. I mean, it needs a solid professional, solid experts, honest, truthful, careful, knowledgeable people to get an approval at the right rate, at the best rate, and get it quickly if you need it fast. Yeah, that's real service. That part's service, okay? And it's meaningful. The whole story, as I told you, of mortgages is get an approval. When you buy a house, hopefully you've been well and truly pre-approved in a perfect way and highly underwritten. You've supplied all the information needed ahead of time, and it's not just a 30-second computerized, digital app pre-approval. It's total garbage. But as long as you've got a solid underwritten pre-approval, you should flow smoothly. Just the property has to be analyzed, that's all. But the approval is crucial. The approval is very crucial, and there's a lot of quality differences between who you're dealing with on the approval side. Okay. Then, of course, there's a lot of quantitative difference on the rate side, because commission is based on two things: the size of the mortgage is the critical element. That's how you get paid in the mortgage business, and whether you've discounted the rate. It doesn't matter which bank it is, which lender it is, who it is, other than private, you could have every single lender, other than a private lender, every institutional lender, you can discount the rate. Now, you may not choose to, and that's fine. That pays the most commission, but they all allow it in some way, shape, or form. So try to get the best rate. Now, is there planning? Is there a lot of planning needs to go into mortgages? Okay. The idea of having to call once a year and review your mortgage plan is just a trick. It's just a trick to try to encourage you to refinance, to get a line of credit. Hey, sir, you want a bigger mortgage? I mean, like, at the end of the day, that's a system to try to promote more debt, more lending. It's not planning. The best plan is to get rid of your mortgage. That is the best plan, is to pay the mortgage to zero. That's the only good plan. I know there's all kinds of the investment guys going to, no, you need leverage, buy rentals. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, come on. Like, shouldn't we just tell the truth and say getting rid of debt is probably a good thing, probably good, better for people, okay? So this once a year annual mortgage plan is just a crock of BS. It's pointless and senseless. But what is important? It's thinking about your future. I mean, you can't control it, by the way. As much as you plan out the future, okay, I believe we're going to be in this house for the next 5 years minimally, and therefore a 5-year fix, if that's the best possible rate, should work for me, or a 5-year variable for the following reasons, or I'm probably going to be subject to a lot of job transfers. I got to take a much more friendly to penalty thing, but maybe what you really need is friendly to portability. Maybe that's what you really need. So some planning has to go into the duration of the mortgage, but hey, it still doesn't work. Life interferes, kids, marital breakdown, the worst possible options can happen. Kids aren't bad. Don't get me wrong. They're fine. But, you may need to move. But in most cases, the story of maximizing flexibility by worrying about a penalty, if you know you're going to be there for 5 years, I wouldn't worry too much about the penalty. I mean, again, you can't port the mortgage. So there's no planning. Planning is bullshit. Service is important about getting an approval. That's very important. Get that approval that you need. But otherwise, just get the best rate.